Under the soft clatter of silverware, Grandpa Everett raised his glass and looked straight at me. "Mara, sweetheart?" he asked, gentle and confused. "Why don't you live in the house I bought for you?" My fork slipped and clanged. Mom's hand froze. Dad's jaw tightened. My sister Tessa went perfectly still. "What house?" I whispered. "I don't have a house." The dining room went unnaturally quiet. Grandpa's smile wavered as he turned toward Tessa, waiting. Tessa shot up so fast her chair scraped, her napkin fell. She fled, heels hammering the hardwood, front door snapping shut, leaving the rest of us staring at the space she'd abandoned. I drove home on autopilot, his question replaying with every red light. I'd moved back to Oregon after a year in Seattle and a divorce that left me rebuilding from scratch. No one had mentioned any house, not once. In my rental, my phone buzzed. "Grandpa, sweetheart, did your parents not tell you? I wired the money last year. I thought you were already settled." Last year, I was scraping by and paying off debts my ex left behind. I typed, "What money, Grandpa?" His reply came instantly. $450,000 for a home in your name. I sent it to your parents." The number hit like cold water. Tessa's sprint stopped being strange and started being proof. A message from Mom followed. "Come by tomorrow, we should talk." No apology, no details. I didn't answer. I grabbed my keys again, because I wasn't going to plead with people who'd kept me in the dark. I was going to hear it from the man who'd tried to give me a future. I drove to Grandpa Everett's house early, fog still hanging over the lawns. He opened the door before I knocked, his usual warmth dimmed. "Mara," he said, hugging me once. "Sit." At his kitchen table, he slid a binder toward me. "Last February, after your divorce, I asked your parents if buying you a house would help. They said yes. They said you were overwhelmed and they'd handle everything." He flipped to a statement. $450,000. Memo for Mara home purchase. Then printed emails, Mom thanking him, Dad promising they'd proceed. My stomach rolled, my hands shook, I stayed steady. "So they knew." Grandpa's hand covered mine. "And you didn't. That means someone chose silence." By noon, I was at my parents' place in Lake Oswego. Mom answered too fast, eyes swollen, voice gentle like she could press this flat. Dad sat at the kitchen table, rigid. "We need to talk calmly," he said. "Where's Tessa?" I asked. "Resting," Mom said, not meeting my eyes. I set the binder down. "Where is the money?" Dad's gaze slid away. Mom's fingers twisted. "Your sister needed help. Jason lost work. Bills were piling." "You used Grandpa's gift," I said. "You used what was meant for me." Dad stood. "It was temporary." "A year isn't temporary." My voice stayed low. "I was drowning and you watched." Mom's tears fell. "You always land on your feet." My throat tightened. Stronger meant disposable. I stepped back. "I'm done being pushed." Dad followed me to the door. "Don't drag anyone else into this." I turned the knob. "You dragged me in when you took my future and called it family." Outside, the cold air hit like truth. I breathed it in and didn't go back. The next morning I sat across from Sophia Lang, a lawyer with a level gaze. Grandpa's binder lay open between us. "This isn't confusion," she said. "It's diversion. With his emails and the wire memo, we can demand the house be transferred." Sophia pulled up county records. One address rose to the top. Alder Lane, Lake Oswego. Owner, Tessa Hartman, my sister's name. I drove past it anyway, a sage-green Craftsman under cedars, porch light glowing, Tessa's SUV in the driveway. I didn't knock. I took photos, captured the mailbox, and left. That night, Tessa showed up at my rental, face blotched, hands shaking. "Mara, please," she said. "Don't take it." "So you knew," I answered. She folded inward. "Mom said you'd be fine. She said you'd leave Oregon again. Jason lost his job and we were drowning. They told me it was temporary, that we'd repay Grandpa." Her voice cracked. I wanted to believe them. "And the refinance?" I asked. Her eyes slid away. "We borrowed against it. We thought it would fix everything." I held the silence until she looked at me. "If you're sorry," I said, "stop hiding." 2 days later, we met in Sophia's office. Me, Grandpa, my parents, Tessa. Just paper and signatures. Mom cried. Dad stared at the carpet. Tessa signed first. Dad signed last. The deed transfer slid into my folder. In quiet, I texted Sophia. "File notice today." She replied, "Already done now." Outside, Grandpa squeezed my hand. "This was meant to steady you," he murmured. "Let it." At dusk, I drove to Alder Lane with a new key. The lock clicked. I stepped inside, and for the first time since that dinner clang, my future didn't feel borrowed. It felt mine.